Ending the program would mean nearly 800,000 so-called dreamers who have been in the U.S. since they were children would eventually lose 2-year work permits and be at risk for deportation. Trump's decision puts Republicans in a bind. Many of them have said they think something should be done to help dreamers, and some pro-immigration reform Republicans have joined Democrats to push for legislation. But most Republicans, including party leaders in the House and Senate, have repeatedly voted to block legislation that would allow young undocumented immigrants to stay in the country. House Speaker Paul Ryan, R. Wisconsin, wouldn't even allow a vote on a broader immigration reform bill that passed the Senate in 2013. Ryan said on Friday that he had urged Trump not to end DACA because he believed Congress should pass a bill to protect dreamers. There are people in limbo, Ryan said on the radio station WCLO in Janesville, Wisconsin. These are kids that know no other country, who were brought here by their parents and don't know another home, and so I really do believe there needs to be a legislative solution. That's one that we're working on. Others similarly urged Trump not to end the program, which he is expected to announce Tuesday, the deadline set for him by 10 state attorneys general who threatened legal action if he did not terminate DACA by that date. On Friday, one of those attorneys general, Tennessee Attorney General Herbert Slattery, R., announced he would not take part in a legal challenge to DACA as promised and called for legislation on dreamers. Slattery encouraged senators to support the DREAM Act, a bill that would provide a path to legal status for undocumented young people who came to the country as children, or legislation like it. The DREAM Act currently has bipartisan sponsors in both the House and Senate, but a majority of Republicans have opposed past efforts to get it through Congress since it was first introduced in 2001. Some Republicans are also pushing for the Raising America's Children Act, or RAC Act, which they're calling a conservative answer to the DREAM Act. It similarly would allow dreamers to receive legal status and eventually become eligible for citizenship, but would have narrower eligibility requirements. Senator Tom Tillis, RNC, plans to introduce the bill in the Senate in the coming weeks. Representative Carlos Curbelo, RFLA, a moderate member, has already introduced it in the House. It also has backing outside Congress. Florida Governor Rick Scott, R., came out in support of the bill last week. There are GOP members who would likely support legislation for dreamers as standalone bills, without other conditions. But most have said they would only vote on bills that help undocumented immigrants if Congress first addresses border security or enforcement measures if they would vote for them at all. Democrats have previously supported bills coupling border security and enforcement with legal status for undocumented immigrants. But they'd likely only go so far. Democratic leaders have dismissed an idea floated by the White House to protect dreamers in exchange for slashing legal immigration numbers, funding Trump's border wall and increasing other deportation efforts. Democrats have argued dreamers shouldn't be used as a bargaining chip, and young undocumented immigrant activists agree. That means Democrats and advocates may eventually be forced into a bind of their own over whether to sell out other immigrants to protect dreamers. For all of the Republican opposition to DACA, it has saved them for 5 years from having to actually do anything to support the dreamers they say should be helped. That might be why some of them didn't want Trump to end it.